Right, right. Hi guys, welcome back to another live stream. And in today's live stream, we are going to be back in the FlyByWire A380, and we're going to be doing a British Airways flight from Heathrow down the UK, and we're going to be flying to Munich down in Germany. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Frames are going to be heavy, but that's just because we're on Builds Heathrow. And we are also in the A380, which isn't best optimized at the moment, but hopefully that will get sorted. A word of advice is to not run SimBridge. That seems to help with performance. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So we are here at Heathrow. We are at stand 536 in the A380, and yeah. Of course, this plane wouldn't really fly this route in real life, but now I want to fly the A380 and I don't want to do a long haul yet, so we're just going to do this, you know. So first things first, overhead panel. We're going to get the external power on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're also going to get the batteries on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're also going to get the ADs aligned. We're going to do left, right, and center. And that's because the left one will do the captain side, which is the more significant side because it's the captain, and then the right side is the first officer side, so that's second, and then the center is just a backup IRS essentially, and that's why we do it in that order, 1, 2 and center. Next thing is crew oxygen supply, emergency lights, seatbelt signs can go to auto, no mobile signs can go to auto. And I think that's all we really need. We need the nav lights on to let everyone know that we're in the aircraft, someone working on it. But other than that, I think that's everything the overhead panel set up for now. So we'll get down here. See, we've got life to the aircraft now. Everything's powering up, essentially. Next thing, I'm going to go to the FlyByWire EFB here. And I'm going to, of course, get my SimBrief data in, and there's our flight plan, Heathrow to Munich, and here is our route, which we will of course input. Air pressure today is at 1029 in hectopascals, not hectograms, hectopascals, so that's 1029 is set. And next thing, I think I'm going to get GSX to board the aircraft. That is assuming that it will be linked. I'm not going to synchronize with the fuel. Oh, we've got charts. I mean, my charts weren't working the other day when I was doing my tutorial series, which you'll find on the channel. Last video is due to go up in 2 minutes for that tutorial series for the landing. So if those do help you, then they're great. I thought I'd get them out as soon as possible. But nevertheless, let's go into the FMS at this point, and we're going to go to flight plan, init, and we're going to do a company flight plan request, uplink insert in progress, and we're going to get that inserted into the aircraft. Give it a minute. We can double check. Oh no, we won't, because we can insert the flight plan now. Receive company flight plan, insert. There's our flight number, British Airways 107, Echo Golf Lima Lima, Heathrow to Echo Delta Delta Mike or Munich, and then the alternate is Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, which is Frankfurt. Cruising flight level today is flight level 390 or 39,000 feet at minus 56 degrees, nice and chilly. Cost index of 86, and a maximum permitted altitude of 40,076 feet. So let's check the IRSs are aligning, available in 7 minutes, all in a line, so there, that's all good. Return, nav aids, we have the Lima Oscar November tuned for the VOR, which we don't need, I don't believe. Have to have a look at charts for that. Don't fly out of Heathrow often, so not completely familiar with it. So that's our flight plan, so we're going to check over the flight plan using the flight plan page. So of course we've got a discontinuity there because we haven't put our standard instrument departure in yet, so we're going to have to do that at some point. We also are going to just check everything else, so all the waypoints line up until the destination. So all the waypoints are in there with no discontinuities apart from the star and the SID, which is expected, so that's all good. There's no secondary flight plan in this plane as of yet. Hopefully we'll soon. So we're going to put our SID in now. So we're going to click on Echo Golf Lima Lima. We're going to click on departure, and from there we are going to get our runway, which from Navigraph tells me it's 9 right, and our standard instrument departure will be the Delta 1 Juliet. In other words, no transition. Check it over in the flight plan page. It's all yellow to show that it's temporary, so if we do not want it, we can erase it and it'll all be back to previous state. And by the looks of it, it all adds up until the star, which is great. So we're going to insert that into the flight plan, and we'll just go right back up to the departure. So that's our standard instrument departure put in. We won't put our star in until we reach the destination, so that's one less thing we can do. And at this point we need to get GSX, of course, on.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Oh. Is it? Not really, but you know, maybe there's someone next.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Will you board anyway? No? Yes.
This
No?
parking is too small for your aircraft.
You know that, but will you just board the aircraft anyway? Okay, apparently not. So, yeah. Apparently this is too small. Even though I literally looked on flight radar and it literally said that it was all fine. It said there was another aircraft which parked here, so you know. So we're just going to use fly-by-wire for the loading of the aircraft, but it's syncing with GSX. So we're going to disable GSX for this because we can't use GSX because it's being a buggy and things. So we're going to get a fast boarding time, and we're going to get boarding. So we're going to get boarding there. And fuel. I'm going to get fast refueling time. Defueling. Well, that's interesting. What else? We need to go back into the FMS, I believe. And we need to double check things such. So we've got our nav aids, so we don't need a landing system. We're not landing back, although it will be useful if we have to do a go around, not a go around, a turn back due to engine failures or anything of the likes. See, there's our fuel going up with our fuel on board and gross weight rising. 14 degrees, so nice and neutral, should we say. It's not too hot, not too cold for the plane. So I'm interested. I don't think there's anything else to do in the FMS at this moment in time. So I'm going to. So we're fueling. We've got 2 minutes till the irises have aligned. So they're all notifications we're expecting. Irises are nearly aligned, as you can see by the PFDs. They are at some sort of life. At this point, I mean, we could go over the departure at this point, I suppose. So I'm going to get Navigraph up. I suppose I could use this CFB, to be fair. I've got a tablet in front of me, which I'm used to using. But as soon as this works, so you can see it, I'll do it in here. EGLL, the SID. We are on the Delta 1 Juliet SID. Detra 1 Juliet. Pin that. Zoom out, please. And can we fit it to the screen? No. What's the point in that if it doesn't actually fit to the screen? There we go. Alright. So we have a constraint of 6,000 feet, which is all good. We've got a constraint of 250 knots below flight level 100, which we will have to apply to, since we are offline today. The runway heading looks as if, well, it looks as if it wants us on 120 degrees heading for the departure, but I think I'll just use managed mode. No turns below 590, so that's all good. And that's really all we need to do. I mean, transition altitude 6,000 feet, but we've got a restriction of that anyway, so it shouldn't be too needed. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So we can just monitor the progress of the boarding at this stage. Payload, we've got all the passengers boarded and everything, so that's fast boarding time for you. Yeah, so got lovely wing views here at Heathrow. Very laggy. Very lag. Oh, I turned the cabin off, didn't I, to save performance. But there's the wing views anyway. So we've boarded, so we can get our weights inserted into the aircraft at this point. So flight plan, init page, fuel and load. We're going to get our zero fuel weight. We have to manually insert this in this aircraft because it's not like the Phoenix where you get it automatically for you. You can just send it down to the McDo. Nice and simple. So zero fuel weight currently is 335,471 kilograms. So that would be 33.5 kilograms for the zero fuel weight. No, 335.5 rounded up. I apologise. That will be our zero fuel weight, and then CG will be 35.4 rounded up, and our fuel on board will be 31 tons of fuel. That's all good, and everything else should automatically calculate. Cost index 86, of course that's correct. And yeah, so it looks like it's still defueling us, but I'm assuming that's the fuel that we need in kilograms there, so they should be correct. Though if it isn't, we can always alter it. So I should have put 31.4 in there. Apologies, not 31. Alright, so next thing will be the performance, which we will do. I'm going to double check the flight plan on the PFD just to be safe. It's just an extra check to ensure that the flight plan's all good. I'm going to zoom it right in as far as I can, and we're going to go through it. So I'm just going to make sure that everything lines up. There's no gaps or discontinuities, in other words. So we have, there's the top of the descent marker, row keel, and then that will be our star. So that's all good. Get our plan phase, zoom it back out again. All good. Very nice. I think at this point I'm going to get the chart. Oop. The charts. We need a 6,000 initial altitude, so I'll book that in now so we don't forget. We'll push that in. Make sure the flight director's on so that we can have managed mode. For some reason it keeps turning off. It's normally on automatically in these aircraft, but on this one it isn't for some reason. Anyways, so, and then we have a 250 knot restriction, which should be managed by the managed mode anyway. So yeah, we'll get constraints onto the screens as well to help us. That should be all good. I don't think that will work yet. No, it won't. So I'm going to head back. Can I head back from Navigraph? Get rid of this chart or not? Well, there we go. So I want the taxi chart. Gonna want so no like A380 parking stand. Oh, this might be useful. A380 parking stands. So where the hell are we? I don't think it'll show us on here, will it? Let's have a look. We've got to be somewhere down here, haven't we? Unless it's just showing us literally what we can use. Which it looks like it is. So, yeah. I mean, that would have been useful, but, yeah. Anyway, taxiing, that may be useful. Pin that. So we should be somewhere around here. But we're not, because these aren't the right... Oh no, it's the other way around, that's why. I'm an idiot. It's the other way around. There we go, that's better. So we're around here at Terminal 5 Bravo. So we can basically use all the taxiways around us. Runway holding areas available for the 80. So I don't think we are actually meant. Yeah, so this gate wouldn't be correct because it says that these taxiways aren't permitted for us. We're going to have to go through them anyway, but for future reference we'll have to park in this bay, really, because that's where the A380s can park by the looks of it. Useful to know, of course. I'm just going to get my keyboard down here so I can put my flight stick in front of me ready, and make sure everything's out, of course. Right. Apologies. Right. There is indeed a lot of people simulating the A380 in this game. It's just an iconic aircraft, really. Anyways, so have we fueled yet? Apparently not. I mean, is it actually refueling or is it just thingy doing its thing? Very laggy. I'm surprised it hasn't done that frame gen thing. It lags out. Anyways, so by the looks of it, we have more than enough fuel. I mean, why we've got so much fuel in the first place is beyond me. But nevertheless, I'm just going to leave that because we've got more than enough fuel. It's going to take ages if not. And I want to get off the ground. So we're going to get the APU fired up. We're going to get the seatbelt signs on. APU master switch. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds. APU start. Come on. And yeah. I'm going to get our beacons on at this point. And yeah. And I think... Actually, no, we can get prepared for pushback.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
I'm pretty sure pushback does work in this. Pretty sure. I know the aircraft is technically not meant to be here, but I'm pretty sure pushback should still work. APU is firing up. Right there. Really, it should work.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Have pushback and departure? Yes or no?
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Would you bugger off? Better for pushback. Oh.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
What if we restart this? Need remote
This parking is
control.
too small for your
Restart
aircraft.
cruise.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
No. What is wrong with this? Actually, I mean, I know the thing's too small, but technically, it should, you know, still work. I mean, it worked the other
This parking
day.
is too small for your
I'm telling you.
aircraft.
Maybe not. Maybe the ground services just don't work. So, what I'm going to do is turn the AP bleed on at this point. Next time, power can come off. Fuel pumps can come on. And we're going to have to get pushed back by FlyByWire's inbuilt pushback system. So, yeah, lots of fuel pumps. All good. Very nice. So, pushback is here. Pushback system on. Call tug. Tug is attaching. We get a nice GSX tug. Not a standard Microsoft Flight Simulator tug. Very nice. Waiting for that. We need to get our transponder really on. We don't have a squawk code, but we can put it on TA only. For now, we'll keep it at 2000 for squawk, because we don't need one, technically. I'm going to get my SimBrief calculator up for the takeoff speeds. EGLL 9 right, correct. Flap setting can go to optimum, populate weather, calculate. So we've got our numbers up. You can't see the numbers, but I have the numbers and I'll insert them in. You can see the numbers when I insert them in. Anyways, so we're just waiting really. I mean, I'm assuming the tug is connected. Tug is attached. So parking brake off. Should then be able to, I mean, backward. There we go. So engine start mode to start, which is up here. I did just use my thrust lever to do that, which is why I didn't see it happening. So engine 1 can start. Bleed is going in, and we need to double check that this is going correct. So engine 1 is starting up. The reason I'm not doing engine 1 and 2 is because apparently the APU bleed gets stressed if you start engine 1 and 2 at the same time and then immediately after do 3 and 4 at the same time. So what you meant to do is you meant to start engine 1 first and then start engine 2 second, and then you can do 3 and 4 together once those have fully powered up. So that's a useful bit of information from the real world. And we need to turn to, we need the nose facing to the right, and we need to get block time on, so we'll get that on. We're also going to need to get turned in a minute. I mean, I'm not sure when to turn, but I'm going to keep pushing until I think we can turn. Performance is a bit heavy, but that's the aircraft, I think, more than anything. The airport generally seems pretty well optimized, but you never know, I could be wrong. I haven't actually flown in Heathrow in any other aircraft than this. This is my first time. So, yeah, I mean, consider it's Heathrow, I think it's performing pretty well. Anyways, engine 1 is positively started, so I'm going to start engine 2 at this point. There's engine 2 starting up. And I'm going to get my V speeds inputted in, so we have a V1 of 141. Jesus, what happened there? 141, a lag spike, I assume. 143 for a V2, and 148 for a V2. No, 141 for V1, 143 for rotation, and 148 for V2. And it says we can use a flex with a temperature of 66 degrees. Alright, and that should be all we need. So that's all good there. I'm going to start the right turn now. I think now's a decent time. So we're going to say left. Bloody hell, it doesn't turn, does it? It's a big aircraft that it hardly turns. So what have we got for the trim? Trim is 47% apparently. That's useful to know. Well, this is why I don't like manual pushbacks. They generally don't work very well. Well, not very easily anyway. So that's managed speed mode now because we've got the performance in. Engine 3 and 4 can get started together. We're going to need a full-on lock here. Forwards. Less of a speed on that. To go the other way. This is a horrible pushback. Like, it's not FlyByWire's fault. It's just that I'm not used to it. GSX would have worked. It would have been fine. But no. Anyways, let's have a look at the engines. Lovely truck over. There's the engines. Well, it's true to say that we're lining up with a taxiway finally. Brake on. I'll leave it there. Decatch the tug. Parking brake is of course on. Engine master switch can go back to normal mode at this point, centered mode in other words. Very nice. So I'm going to get my zoom on. Wait for that to load. I do hope everyone is all well on this Saturday afternoon. Zoom right in. Zoom out that far. 9 right is literally just in front of us, so that's all good. And we should be able to just taxi right to it. Anyways, what's this about an A380 not being able to fit on this taxiway? I think that's a pile of bub. Not gonna lie. Anyways, so take up before taxi checklist, shall we say. Anyways, are these ticks like checklists? I haven't actually worked out how you get checklists on the actual plane. Flight controls? Oh no, that's flight controls, isn't it? Duh. It's normal video? What's that? I'm pretty sure there's checklists in somewhere. Checklists, CL. Well, there we go, checklists. It was in an obvious like place, and I just didn't see it. Anyway, so trim 47%. I'll set the trim. So we're at 42.7 now, so we need to rise the trim. I mean, out of range. What are you on about? Let's take a look. I need to double check that my trim only 14 degrees apparently down here. So we have a trim. Well, apparently it's 47%. But I don't think that's right. I guess if it's just in the green, it's all right. To be fair, so we'll line it up as much as we can. And that should do for the trim. I mean, that's basically lined up. So yeah, we'll leave that there. I'm gonna have a look at these checklists. So cockpit pressurization, that's all done. We don't need to worry about those. Yeah, we've done all those, so we don't need them. Back to checklists. Checklists, please. Thank you. Scrolling down, taxi. Take a look at that. Flight controls, we need to check those, which we won't do just yet. We need the pushback tug disconnected. It is. So pushback tug is disconnected. So we can start these checklists now. Engines are positively started, so that's all good. So flight controls check now. So we need to get that up on the screen. So flight controls, where was that? There it is. Flight controls checking now. So we'll zoom out a bit. Full down, full up, full right, check, full left, check. Rudder full right, rudder full left, all good. We are good. So that's checked. Flap setting is config 1, so we'll get the flaps to 1, and we'll have a listen to those as well. Listen to those flaps. It does look a bit weird in this view, by the way. I've turned the cabin off to hopefully help with performance, but I'm not entirely sure if it does. But you know, it seems stable, so I'm going to keep it like this until we've departed Heathrow. It is InnyBuild Heathrow after all. So the next thing to do would be, well, we can check that. That's the first thing. So flap setting is config 1, all good. Radar. I mean, we don't need the radar because it doesn't actually work, does it? So, you know, radar checked. Did it just like quit the checklist screen or something? Checklists, please. Taxi. You out of it. Taxi. Yep. Well, ground spoilers to armed. Push them up. Ground spoilers are armed. Auto brake RTO. Press that button there to arm it. And checklist is now complete. So we can. There we go. So the next thing to do is just take off config test, which we'll do on the go. So we got our Navigraph. Navigraph. Ignoring the charts if possible, please. Taxi. No need to put that. No, bugger off. Is it not let you like just zoom into the airport itself? Well, anyways, we'll get the chart up. Echo Golf Lima. Actually, no. Just put from, can't we? Sid. There we go. Keep that on there. Zoom out a bit. There we are. Right. That's all good. That can be left there. Next thing is to get the taxi lights on. And that's all we need to do for now. We can get the APU off. APU bleed and the APU master switch off. And that's everything, really. So we're now just really going to taxi to the runway. So let us do the takeoff config check, and that is normal. So we are going to make a move. So let's go. Put the thrusts up a little. Get the parking brake off. Let's move the aircraft over to the right a little. We did finish the pushback a little too left. Should be all good. And let's get out of Heathrow. Increasing those thrusts a little bit too much there. And I am going to use my... Yeah, okay, so... Oh god. Never taxi this fast in an A380. Never. God, okay. It's that heavy, it just stopped itself. Alright. Fair enough. We should just be able to turn off into here. A heavy ass aircraft it is. It really is. Really is. It's not really complicated aircraft. I mean, it looks like it would be, but generally, if you're aware of Airbus controls and general plane controls, you can fly this plane no problem. And this plane is just an A350, just bigger really. So when the Unibuild's A350 comes out, if you know how to fly this plane, you're going to be pretty sorted for the A350. I mean, sure there'll be subtle differences, but generally it's not going to be a foreign language to you. And that's the runway we need up ahead. Parking brake on. We're going to get our landing lights, runway turn-offs, wing lights, strobe lights all on. And we're also going to get the before takeoff checklist. Oop. So we're going to get that done. Line oop. Check. Takeoff runway, check. Cabin crew are advised. Packs should be on. Packs are indeed on. Packs are on. Check. Checklist complete. Awesome. So let's get taken off. Let's line up with the runway. Let's get out of Heathrow. Immediate turn to the left. Slowly does it. This is 9 right. It really is a slow aircraft. We can get that off the zoom mode now and we can just go into normal sort of zoomed in mode. Put it on a 20 I think. So just double checking. Everything's set. It's just so slow. I actually don't blame people for tuning out when they see this. Honestly don't. Who cares? It's all for the fun, isn't it? Anyways, Chrono can come on. Everything is set. So, we're gonna get the cabin back on. Let that come on. And let's leave Heathrow. There's Heathrow. Leaving it behind. 50%. Engine stable. Flexer. Manflex SRS runway. Auto thrust blue. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. To fly over London. A slight right turn. Leave a climb, thrust climb, through S speed, flaps 0, or flaps up in other words. Through to 1,000 feet, autopilot 1 can be engaged. Spoilers can be disarmed. We'll climb out of Heathrow. There's Heathrow. Behind us, left behind us, as it were. Flying over London in the A380. Awesome. Make the most of the views. Now he's back in the cockpit. Restriction of 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Plane should stick to, and of course it should go to 6,000 feet and then level off initially, which it looks like it's doing. Speed Alt Star. Before, after takeoff checklist, please. Departure. Oh. Hit the wrong button. Tick. Checked. Flap setting checked. Checked. Check. Check. Everything is checked there until the approach. All good there. Seatbelt signs can stay on for the moment. Flying over the clouds. Keeping it on the local QNH whilst we're at 6,000, even though that is technically the altitude at which air pressure changes. Keeping it at 6,000 whilst the restriction applies. A little stutter there. I'm pretty sure it's mostly down to the aircraft, but you know, Heathrow may have something to do with it. And on the chart is our plane. There we are, flying the standard instrument departure, just nicely as we climb out. Flying over a thick level of cloud at the moment. was a bit smoother there. I mean, the camera view seemed smooth, but I think it's just London and the fact that the plane's like intensive that we're getting quite a bit of lag. But nevertheless, we departed Heathrow successfully. No system crashes, so fingers crossed, we're all good. And this is the point where everyone gets bored, so they leave, and then as soon as I land, it's when they all tune back in. It's the way to go. We've got no terrain, because of course we don't have Simbridge running to save performance. I realised the transponder is actually wrong. We should have said it's TARA, but consider we're not online or anything, that doesn't actually really matter, which is why I just completely forgot about it. If it was on VATSIM, I wouldn't have forgot about that. Yeah. See London down below the clouds. To Munich, where this A380 will live. So our cruising altitude is 39,000 feet, so we'll get that pre-selected, but we won't activate it yet until we're through the restriction, which is coming up, which is why I'm inserting it now. Just about to fly over it. The aircraft there. There's our aircraft in yellow on the chart. No, thank you. There's the last restriction of 6,000 feet, just there. So, I'm going to keep it going. This is the boring bit where you just have to wait, like, until you reach the cruise. You just go to sleep at this point. I wouldn't blame anyone. Get some nice wing views while we wait, I suppose. I'm a big fan of engine views, if I'm honest. Big fan of them. Don't know. For engine views or wing views. Anyways, through 6,000 feet restriction yet? Just flown through it, I believe. Right, I think it's at that waypoint that it ends. Even though it's not on the chart, unless it's just not. No, it's just not on the chart. Who knows? Anyways, done with that chart now. Goodbye. At this point we just need to get the star chart really, so we'll get that like pre-selected I suppose. Star. A star should be the Roki 1 Alpha for Munich. Roki 1 Alpha. Just find it, won't I? Roki 1 Alpha. Rokiel 1 Alpha. There it is. It's right at the top. Possible. So just keep that there so it's ready. Because we don't need to use it yet. Through the waypoint we go. I'm going to put it into managed mode, 39,000 feet. Thrust climb have been initiated. Alt is now armed until we reach the cruising altitude of 39,000 feet. Local QNH can come off and into standard mode at this point. Through the transition altitude. Local QNH no longer applies. We're going to have a steep climb, so we're going to have to monitor it so it doesn't go too steep. As I have found, this aircraft just likes to climb at a stupid rate. See, it's going in the orange there, which isn't a good sign. See, it goes down into the green for the rate of climb, but then it just decides to go back up again eventually. So a lot of the time you have to like manually adjust the rate of climb to ensure that it's not unsafe. A nice engine view over London. Well, London's suburbs, I suppose. I mean, generally it's in the green now, but how stable that's going to be, I don't know. Nevertheless. Climbing. Alright, so I'm gonna get a poll going. No preferring. Yeah, poll going. There we go. Climbing up 5,000 foot per minute through the clouds. Oh, there we go. Bit commences. In the house. So 14 minutes, well 15 minutes rounded up since departure, 31 minutes since pushback. Very nice. So through 10,000 feet we can get the seatbelt signs off at this point. Landing lights can come off when we're turning off, swing lights, nose lights, beacons, strobes, all off. Just keeping the nav lights on to ensure that they know there's actually someone active in the aircraft, even though we're in the air. Should be logical, you know. Awesome. Some peppermint, not gonna lie. Talking to myself there, by the way. The boring bit. It's all part of the fun though, flying planes, the cruise. Or the climb in this case. Anyways, 99% on all the thrusts right now. So we climb up. First class engine view, by the way. Through the cruise. Checking on the fuel and things. We're definitely not running out of fuel in this flight. We've got more than enough. That's for sure. Long hauls, you must check the fuel at least every hour. It is interesting. Rightly so, though. There's climb performance, managed mode anyway. Nothing needs to be inserted. Just the approach mode, which will need any input. Unless we want to input anything in the other pages. You can control like speeds and things on the descent in this page. You can change your cruise speed and things like that. But, you know, there's no need to. Just lay back and fly the aircraft, have a chill time. That was a pleasant climb, nothing messed up. That's a good sign. We're now cruising. Alright, so should we get some cabin views? The door open, slam it in my face. Here we are, cabin. Lovely. Default cabin, by the way. Got stairs there up to first class. There's the stairs into the cockpit. So we've currently got here. I mean, this has got to be business class or something. It's definitely not first class. It must be business class here. Definitely will be. Got your nice cushions and that. Your screens. They're not modelled any toilets. I mean, I'm not saying there's any need to, but you know. I know that iFly modelled their toilet in their Macs. Now, assuming this is economy, which doesn't look too bad actually. And I'm assuming this is economy. There's lots of seats, so yeah, it's pretty nice. But then you've got to consider that it is a very long haul aircraft. Like, you're definitely going to be sat in this aircraft for, you know, a good time if you're in it. Well, unless you're in the Emirates and you're just doing like a flight from Dubai to Kuwait City, which for some reason uses an A380. You know, because that's logical, isn't it? But it's more just because it's a high demanding route, isn't it? Nothing to do with the length. It's just high demanding. So they're using A380 on it. This is all the economy and business class we've gone through. It doesn't look like they've modelled the seatbelt signs and things, but they've sort of modelled like a layout. So I'm not entirely sure if they are working on that or whether they just don't intend to. Either way, I'm happy because they modelled the cabin, and that's pretty much all I care about. It's a free aircraft at the end of the day. You can't complain a lot. You know, think about what Breadup 3D brought with this, and it's paid for like 20 quid. This just blows that out of the water. The Breadup 3D don't have a good reputation anyway. Bit of texture issues here, like this is definitely not modelled. I'm not sure if this is meant to be like this or what, but it is sort of like an alpha version, so it's not a full release. So I'm going to assume that these bits are just not worked on yet, and they are going to be worked on. But we'll see in time, I suppose. Majority is modelled, which is the main thing. This is the like desk. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be the bar. Of course. Yeah, this is definitely not modelled. You can see the like clouds above it. Yeah. Anyways, this is like, I'm assuming this is like first class or something, or a model of first class. Let's have a look. First class. That's an awesome view, that. Look at this. Imagine being in this in real life. Sat here. Oh, mint. Continuing the walk around. I'm assuming it's just the same above here. Looks like it. What are these things? We've actually put the name on there in a weird way. Not the right way around, I don't think, but you know. So we've got TV screens, got water there, or whatever they are. Some sort of, what's this? A tablet or a table or something? I've honestly no idea. Oh god. I'm done. I'm gonna head back into the first class view here. So is this? I'm assuming there's different tiers of first class then on the A380, because this is like one thing, which looks premium, but you come through here slowly and steady. You come through here and you find an an even more premium cabin. So I'm going to only assume that this is like the top tier of first class, and that's just like a different tier, because business class must have been the one downstairs, because there's no way that was standard class at all, because the standard class looked like standard class. So yeah, and this should just be back down the stairs off to the cockpit, which is through there. Yeah, this must be business class, this bit. There's no way it isn't. Well, who knows, because that's definitely economy down there, because that's the weakest sort of quality of seats. It's a bit worrying that you can press that, but it's not opening, so you know. What the hell? Listen to that. Hear wind noises when you go to the stair. It goes away. Cool. Just features like that that make you like into an aircraft. Close the door again. There's a door handle. Oh, there it's looking too low. It's back in the cockpit. Of course, here we are. Welcome into the stream, Ace. And if you are wondering how you can turn off the cabin, you just simply press that and it'll turn off the cabin. And you'll notice, because it'll sort of do like a little flash in the cockpit. But I'm going to keep it on because performance allows. But yeah, I mean, we're in the cruise phase now, so we're just waiting for the top of descent at this point. So I think I'm going to put some tunes on. Volume. Alright. Oh yeah, they're bringing out the updates for Euro Truck and American Truck quite quickly, and the latest DLC for ATS shouldn't be far off now in those cases, assuming that they haven't abandoned it. We can't expect SES to do that. Yeah, I mean, there's no need for them to bring it out anytime soon because they've brought 1.52 out like quite quickly. So you can't really expect them to release these updates like so quick. Lovely engine view. Yeah, I'm a fan of them American trucks that they bring out. So I do hope they do bring more Freightliners, because that's quite a decent truck brand in my opinion. Decent trucks. I'm half tempted to do a flight from Heathrow to Los Angeles, you know. British Airways. 11 hours in the air. Oh god, it'd be torture. Four contrails there. Sunset. Awesome. Let's have a look. How far are we from the top of descent? Well, it's not, you know, it's quite a zoom, so it's not like insanely close. So we'll probably brief the standard terminal arrival route at this point. And here's the chart for it. So we're going to be on the Rockier 1 Alpha arrival into Munich. And that will want us at flight level 100 for Rockeel. I'm just going to double check that Rockeel is in the flight plan so that I'm correct. So Rockeel is in the flight plan, that's the last waypoint before the flight plan ends because the star isn't inputted. So 10,000 feet will be the initial altitude to descend to when we reach our top of descent. We're landing on runway 8 left according to Navigraph. So I'm going to insert the arrival now. So 8 left approaches the Rocky. Oh no, we want the ILS for the 8 left via. Let's see, have we got a VIA? Don't think we do. We're on the Rockier 1 Alpha star. I don't think we have, although I'll have to input the ILS, won't I? Yeah, we do have the via of Mike India Kilo, so we'll double check that over in the flight plan. So Rockiel to there to, yeah, that's all good, that all adds up. So we'll insert that into the flight plan, and that should insert the star. That should be all good. So what have I missed in the chat? Let's have a look. Yeah, the Westliner 57X definitely does look like the Freightliner Cascadia. Definitely does, no doubt. So let's get performance approach ready to be inputted. Useful to get our ILS chart up as well. ILS approach into 8 left. That's up already. Leave that on there. All good. It's slight turn. Beautiful sunset though. Get a shot of that. Yeah, it would be cool to see those additions to the trucks, in my opinion as well. I do much prefer American trucks to Europe trucks. Just a lot more beefy, bigger, heavier, nice air horns as well. Look at that red sky. Awesome. Is this something? What the hell? Anyways, so I'm gonna have a look at this chart. Frequency will be 109.5. Shouldn't be tuned yet, so I'm not going to double check that yet. Course will be 80 degrees, which it's runway 8, so that makes sense. ILS interception will be 5,000 feet at Magat. So at that point we will set 5,000 feet again, so we'll keep it at 5,000 feet for the go around altitude. Minimums are pretty high over at Munich, 1,667 feet above the runway, or 200 feet for radio minimums. So that's useful to know when we have to put our destination data into the FMS. Nevertheless, let's get the most of the wing views whilst we can. Let's see what a good wing. I'm going to go for the first class wing view, just so much nicer. You can also see a bit of land down there below the clouds. Oh yeah, it's nice when they add realistic features into the truck games. Just improves the immersion, I suppose. Awesome. Oh yeah. We all want to find things from GTA 5 in American truck. An hour and 5 on the block time. 48 on the chrono. I'm gonna go direct to Harem. Direct to Harem. Forward. I can't see anything. It's that dark now. Checklists. So what's on the approach checklist, I suppose? Approach. Biometric minimums, seatbelts, minimums, and auto brake. So easy stuff. A checklist. We should be tuned to VHF1. Squawking 2000, of course. Direct pig-up. .74 nautical miles to pick up. What's this? Top of descent markers there. And how zoomed out do I have to be to see that? You have to be on an 80 to see it, and you can sort of see it in the 40s. So it's coming. Top of descent is slowly coming. Cannot see a thing out of these wing views. Gonna be a dark landing into Munich. Here's the cabin. This is economy actually. The economy class, cheapest seats. Which, to be fair, aren't really too bad if you ask me. What's this? That is still economy. Number 9, isn't there? This is first class. This is top of the range. Top of the range seats. Meanwhile, you've got your, I don't know, this should be the range down from them. I'm assuming it's still first class. Just a cheaper first class. Which, to be honest, I'd be happy with. Awesome. And you've got your business class at the front, which is just outside the cockpit door, funnily enough. There's your business class. Awesome. So, green dot speed is about 240 knots. %of thruster cruises, quite a lot. Well, it probably will be faster, won't it? That's probably why they use it. It looks a little less cloudy in Munich to London at the moment, because I can see lights, so it can't be too bad considering cloud. It's just going to be really a dark and scattered cloud landing, I suppose. And I am going to get my altitude pre-selected. I believe that was 10,000 feet, wasn't it? It was 10,000 feet for Rock Hill, so I'll get down to 10,000 feet initially at top of descent. Won't activate that yet until we hit the white line, which shouldn't be far off at this point. It's on the 20, so it's only bound to come up on the 10 soon. Keep it zoomed out a bit more so we can see sort of all the runway and things. So 10,000, then we'll go down to 5,000, I believe, yeah. All good. There's top of descent coming up on the 10, so about to get descended down into Munich. It's useful to know what the QNH is, so we'll check that, what the local air pressure is. That's when we get lower than transition altitude. I think I'll activate the descent now, so I'll put it in managed mode, just so that we're descending in time. There you see the lines, the rate of descent is starting to come down slowly. So we're going to get descended now. Enter destination data at this point has come up, so we're going to enter that data. Performance, approach, and so what's the temperature down in Munich? Temperature is 8 degrees, which is actually colder than London. Didn't think anywhere could be colder than UK. Well, minus the Antarctic, I suppose. Wind speed 90 at 4 knots, which I forgot to put in. 90 at 4 knots, which isn't too bad. That's pretty neutral winds. QNH 1029 in hectopascals. 1029 for QNH. Set. Our barometric minima today is gonna be 1,667, pretty high barometric minima, and then that should be in there. We're not going to insert a radio minima because we don't need to. You only have to insert one of the minimas, rather the one in bold or the one in brackets, whichever, it doesn't matter. But the one in brackets is your radio minima, and the one in bold is your barometric minima, which is shown here where ILS is. DAH, there you go, all there at the bottom of the chart. See, there's 5,000 for magged out, which is interception, 80 degrees of course, ILS DME, 109.5 is the frequency. Got a Munich VOR, which we won't need to use. Transition altitude 5,000 feet as well, so 5,000 feet all round. All good. So that is the destination data for the most part. ILS 8 left, of course. Descending quite steeply now. for flight level 100 or 10,000 feet. So let's get some wing views. I mean, is there any point? It's a bit dark. You can't see anything through that window. That window is a bit crap. I mean, that seems like the best one. Yeah, you're not seeing a wing here. For sure. You see ground though. Land is among us. It's very dark. Some cockpit lighting on. Get everything to the brightest setting, I suppose. It's already pretty bright, to be fair. Ambient light's on the most it can be, so that's dome light essentially for the A380. Yeah. Seatbelt signs can come on because we are descending, of course. So yeah, there's a little ding. Zoom in a bit more. Do an 80 zoom. Nearly on an hour on the chrono, and we're on an hour and 15 on the block time. It's so dark. I can't see anything really out of that view. This view is just like sort of, you know, live weather, live time. Yeah, it'd be nice though with the sunset. See the light inside the aircraft there? What a beast it is. As we descend into Munich. Slight turn to the right. A flight plan on that page, I think. In case we need to alter it. Seatbelt signs are on, so that's already checked for us automatically in the checklist. Take a quick look at the approach checklist again. Rock heel for flight level 100 at maximum 250 knots. Plane should do the speed for us automatically in managed mode. And of course we're descending to 10,000 already. So yeah. It's literally pitch black though. Not gonna lie. Doing well on the speed though, we're like lowest as can be really. Which is good, means we're not descending too steeply. Which is what you like to see. Thrusts are idle of course for the descent. Fuel efficiency. You got this seat here. See the whole cockpit. Third pilot for long hauls. Oh my god, that's horrible. Listening to that noise. It's horrible. Back on. I'm a fan of the red sky though, that's the positive of it. Crease. Turn the music off now as we descend into Munich. Where's Rockhill? No, Rockhill's there. Due 10,000 feet there for sure. So we're definitely on profile for our descent. Should get our approach checklist done now. We've done that. Barrow reference, we've done that. Minimums are briefed. Auto brake needs to be set, so we need to do a landing calculation. Our landing calculation is out, so I'm going to use Simbrief for this. Landing, 8 left. Calculate. Flaps will be full. Auto brake will only need 1 for today, so we just have auto brakes on low. And that'll do us for Munich, landing in Munich. Checklist complete. All good. Got our strobe lights back on. And get our checklist back up. We'll get our landing checklist ready for when we're on the ILS to land. Final approach, of course. Missed out a few checklists at the start, but it's all good. Landing checklist there, so that's all ready for when we want to land, so it's one less thing we have to do. Of course. Coming up onto the final approach chart now. You see rock heels there and our aircraft is here. So we need to be at 10,000 feet for rock heel, which we're hitting greatly. So we're definitely on a good descent now. And through rock heel I'll get the 5,000 feet tuned into the aircraft. I'll do that now actually. Put it in managed mode as well. Just so we're doing good. Speed's coming down now, as expected, to 250 knots for the restriction at rock heel and beyond. Let's get down into Munich. A380. What a beast. Can't see it now though. See lights, but hardly any flame. That's for sure. Steep turn now. Steep turn to the left. I may just change the time of day, because if it's pitch black it's just not going to be, you know, too good. Have a sunset sort of time, that'll do. There we go, we can actually see things for the arrival now. 10,000 feet. Seatbelt signs, of course, are on already. Nose lights can go to takeoff. Landing lights can come on. Wing lights on. Runway turn-offs on. Beacon lights can come on. Sim has froze. Sim has come back. There we go. It's the first time I'm noticing it. Sim freezing in this plane. Who knows, it could be Munich, you never know. I'm putting my things down to the plane. Alright. Landing system come on now. Landing system on both sides. An hour and 30 on the block time now, which is expected. We've done the flight in good time, I think. All good. You're actually correct there, actually. I didn't realise how close I was. So let's get the flaps starting. We'll get the activate approach phase, firm, and we'll start getting flaps down now. We'll have to wait for the speed to come down, as I believe need to get that speed down a bit, and then we'll get flaps 1 up. Flaps 1. We'll get a nice wing view. ARM localizer. Flaps 2. Get the final approach chart up now. Approach. Find the pinned one. Oh, I didn't pin it, did I? Let's see, where are we? See, there we go. We're coming up onto the ILS now, as you can see there. Magtat is coming up. All good. Right. That's 3. It's a bit early to have the landing gear down, I think. Clear. I mean, would you really have the landing gear down at 7,000 feet? I think not. Yeah. Although Munich is quite a high runway, to be fair. That's why the glide slope is high. Interception altitude. ILS. Spoilers can be armed. Just get the checklist back on. Because it came off. That's full. Tick. It's just the landing gear we're missing. Localizer is captured. Approach mode can be activated. Approach mode is captured straight away. So let's get down to Munich. Flaps are full. Auto brake is set. We'll get the landing gear down soon. Barometric pressure needs to be of course in there. 1029. Local QNH is active. Oh, good. Get the replay on. Record. There we go. Just descending on the glide path at this point into the runway. Land. A very steep descent, isn't it? We're gonna have to use spoilers. Don't think we shouldn't do, but you know, we have to. I will. There you go. Speed's coming down. The spoilers. There's the runway in sight. Landing checklist, landing gear down. Spoilers armed. Landing checklist complete. Ready? Let's go. There's Munich down there. My aeroplane. Autopilot off. I'm not sure where the sounds have gone for this plane. I have to sort that out. I noticed it last night as well. The sounds have gone. Thrusters idle. Landed. Auto brake. Reversers out. Well, touchdown anyway. Should have centered it a bit more on the approach, but nevertheless, learning the aircraft. Reversers idle, thrusters idle. Should need to disarm the auto brake, didn't I? Keep the plane rolling. Could have used that exit there, but we'll just get the next one. It's all good. Not entirely sure what gates A380s are meant to use here. GSX tell us. Question. I mean, A380s do fly to Munich, so I refuse to say that there isn't any gates. I refuse to believe this. I guess we're just going to have to find a heavy gate and hope that we fit. Let's have a look at thingy. How is... where are we? We're there. So if we can use like 215 alpha, that'll do. Oh no, 216 would be better. I can't find the one here. I do. A380 Sly. It'll be on a chart somewhere, won't it? Munich, charts, taxi. Honestly, not a clue. Should have briefed that, but you know. This is a heavy ass aircraft. Heavy ass. So we should just make a slight heavy right turn here. Get the runway lights off. Runway turn off, swing lights, nose lights to taxi. Strip lights can come off. All good. Ground spoilers can be disarmed. And we'll get the landing system off. Get the APU started up. Master switch. 1, 2, 3. Start APU. Can't find any A380 information for this airport. but I can cheat to have a look. Let's take a look. Flight Radar 24 may give us some help at what gate we can park at. Flight Radar 24. Slowly taxi to the gate. Fine flights. Munich. EDDM. Short map. You meant to taxi in a straight line, by the way. But that's not what this does. Unless they stop the A380 is coming. But I don't think that's the case. Well, there's one from Dubai to Dubai. But that's not going to help because it hasn't landed yet. Need an A380 here. I suppose we just find a Lufthansa or an Etihad. Lufthansa. Oh, there we go. Well, that's future. I need one that's already been, not one in the future. Bloody hell. Well, let's stop the aircraft here and have a look at what gate we can use. Let's take a look. We'll get the flight recorder off. And I'm going to check what gate I can use. So, Munich. France stop using their A380s here. Personally, I'd like to drive an AI school bus in A3S. Oh, cool that. Although it would defeat the point of a truck simulator. What gate did this use? It used some gate. I could match that. Ooh. Is it going to log me out? No, it isn't. Thank you. Man back on. So it landed on that runway. Came along. Used the first set. Came into one of these gates. So it's terminal 1 that we need. Alright, okay. I understand where we need to go. Let's go. So we need to keep going down here until we hit Terminal 1. And I'm going to speed it up because this is going to be a long ass taxi. Oh yeah, Super Steve got downloaded a mod pack. Poor quality buses, but you know, at least you can drive some. Should be this turning that we're taking, or the one directly after it. Yeah, there's no way an A380 is getting over here. Well, it should do. I mean, if the gates are there, surely it would, because Emirates use their A380 to go to Dubai, so definitely does hold A380s. And Lufthansa, I'm pretty sure, do one to LAX, so should fit. Realistically, yeah, we're fitting on here. Nicely done. Need to get the flaps down, really. But I want to hear it, so I'm leaving it until last minute. Well, flaps up, I should say, not down. Get the speed up a bit. Sharp turn. APU is fired up. And we need to go to, I mean, like 162 will do. GSX. Gate. 1. 2, that work? I think the other gates would be better. So we've got 110 will do.
The chosen position is too small for your aircraft.
Yeah, whatever. The fence will be fine. Thank you very much. Down we go to the first turning to the right. Well, that's more than a reason for them to release the buses, because they're made by truck companies. It'd be a good excuse. It would definitely be a good excuse. Is this the turning we need? Pretty sure it is. It is, so we need to take this turning, and the gate is literally right in front of us once we take this turn. Turn to here. Yeah, I would. I do really like American school buses, so I would definitely drive it on ATS. lowest plane you could ever fly is this. So I've come off the taxiway now because the gate is right here. Oh, look at that. On the line. Not gonna have GSX numbers. Just a Marshall. Oh no, there's the numbers. I'd stopped, didn't it? This way. This way, Jesus. It's either you speed it up or you slow it down. It's like, you stop it. I'm gonna go into that jetway, I think. I'm stopping there, I'm sorry, but that's close enough. APU bleed on. Engines off. Actually no. Let us keep the engines on. Get the flaps retracted. Some more lighting in here. Alright.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave the engines on. And we shall... What do we... I mean, I'm pretty sure that GSX isn't going to let us deboard the plane. But...
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
I think I'll turn the engines off. Turn the engines off and we'll turn them back on for the replay.
This parking is too small for your aircraft. 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 Go at you.
Can't deboard it.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Can we like
this parking is too small for your aircraft.
Yeah. Might as well power up the engines again. Is it possible to start all of them at once? Oh god. It'd be sick. No, don't think it is. No, you definitely can't. Well, yeah, you can start 2 engines at once. You can't start all 4 of them. And we'll get the replay going for the landing. Definitely needs some optimization updates, this plane. You know. Won't help that I don't have IGN start selected. Now we'll start the engines. Round 2. It's like performance like, I mean, let's see, performance, view, yeah, very heavy on the VRAM right now. It just eats up all your video memory, this plane, eats it up. Anyways, let's take a look at developer options and we'll have a look, a more in-depth view. Yeah, a lot of VRAM being used. Start the next 2 engines and we'll get going. The engines are being fueled up. I don't see why this is too small. I mean, you could park it over there even. There must be a building. No idea. Alright, engines are on, flaps can go to full, spoilers can be armed. All lights can come on again. Oh good, APB can come off. Alright. Let's get those flaps down. And then we'll get the replay. Right. Get the FPS off, get developer options off, and we'll get into the replay. Replay.
Find valid airport data at this position. Services are not available.
Resume.
Couldn't find valid airport data at this position. Services are not available.
Let's have a lovely wing view first, actually. Find a nice wing view. I think that one's a nice one. Just starting to correct ourselves here. Landed though. Pretty awesome that. Either way. Let's get an outside exterior view. Bonjour.
Couldn't find valid airport data at this position. Services are not available.
Just get the spoilers up. I won't harm them. See, it's starting to correct it there. You know, it's fine. Slammed it to the ground though. You know, it doesn't look as bad as it felt, but you know, pretty centered nevertheless. Alright. Alright, so that's going to be it for this live stream. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope to see you all again soon. And happy flying and goodbye. I'll leave you with the replay and some lovely music.
at this position. Services are not available.